What's going on, everybody? Sorry that it's taken so long to upload the GRG podcast this week. Had a kind of a crazy situation that happened Friday night. Part of the show when during the stream, I don't know if it was with Mixer or if it was OBS, but one or the other, it uh it shut off part of the show, and then we got back on and started, and we probably went another hour 30 40 minutes or so, and that part is missing. So I contacted Mixer to see where did that upload. Now people caught it live. We still have plenty of people that was watching, and they caught the last part of the show. But for all I have right now for the upload for this week's episode of GRG right now is the first half, which is probably around close to 2 hours. So whenever I get the rest of the information from Mixer in regards to what's going on with the second half of the show, I will definitely let you guys know. But for right now, I'll just send you out this. I was kind of trying to wait to see if it would come out, but also have some more content that's coming. We did something. Xbox 44H channel had an issue, so we did the other part of next podcast on Mixer on my channel, and also we did Devin the Gamer, and that will be probably coming sometime Monday or Tuesday. So got plenty of content rolling in. Plus, I also have a couple of videos that I want to talk about in regards to some of the rumors that we've been hearing, some of the stuff that we talked about on all three shows, on GRG, on Devin the Gamer, and also on next podcast. So definitely wanted to fill you guys in, let you know, because it's definitely kind of going to be kind of weird because the show is going to kind of just cut off right when 100 was speaking, and then when we kicked back in, we let 100 finish what he was saying, and then we finished out the show. Don came in, gave his thoughts about stuff and all of that. So hopefully that we can get that. Mixer can find it and give it to me so I can upload the second half of GRG for you. But I'm going to go ahead and upload the first half for you, and can't wait to hear your comments about everything. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Welcome to the GRG podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewires Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Ops, 100, live, and your host, K Mega 405. The GRG podcast
starts right now.
What's up, everybody? What's happening? The GRG podcast is here. As you see Livewire doing his dancing, he finally gave me some damn gameplay. Anyway, what's going on with everybody? Podcast is here. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Man, we're going to have an amazing show. We're going to get on our detective giving some information out there that's been going around through the cracks and creases. Can't wait to get into those little tidbits. We're definitely going to be talking about stuff within gaming, of course, PlayStation, Xbox. Nothing really big about Nintendo except Nintendo is killing it. So big shout out to Nintendo doing the damn thing. So if anybody out there that has this notion of thinking that the Xbox cannot turn around from having the generation that they've had, only thing people need to do is just look at what Nintendo has done from the Wii U to the Switch. I mean, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Look, I mean, it's crazy. It's just kind of like you go to the success of the Wii, you go to the Wii U, and now you're looking at the Switch. I mean, and then before that, it was the GameCube, and the GameCube didn't do so hot. So it just comes to show you never know what happens. And if you actually really think about it, if you think about it right now, ladies and gentlemen, if Nintendo decided to drop the Switch day one with PlayStation and Xbox, where do you think that they would be at right now? Would PlayStation still be bragging about how they'd be number one? Absolutely not. They wouldn't. They couldn't. They'd be bragging about being number two. So that's something to think about. But other than that, stuff we're real heavy on some a lot of information that's been going out here, and I can't wait to get into it. But first of all, I got to get to the panel. We here, we ready. I got to go to my boy 100 first, man. What you sipping on, and what's going on with you, brother?
Oh man, just getting off work, drinking on some whiskey, playing some Madden. Gonna play that little moon game I got yesterday off the Great Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it last night, but I had to go to sleep. Play that but it's a pretty cool game. I think it's what Escape from the Moon or something like that. But it's a cool game if you into them games. Remind me of it's got puzzles, but it reminds me more of Tacoma. So I've been playing everything. The Yakuza down. I can play that one. That's a lot of reading, but I can play that one because it's action from the beginning.
Which one? The Q's
The
newest
I quit
one.
Zero. I quit Zero
Why you quit
because
Zero?
this one that just came out that's the one that's before Zero. So I quit Zero to play that one. Then I go back to playing Zero.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy for you, man, because this is a good game, man. Every time I hear that people don't like Yakuza games, I'm just like, damn, you missing out. So it's good to hear that you found one of them that you really like there.
Well, he said he's going to go back to
action, but it's just the only thing that kills me is just I just don't like to read the text. Like sometimes, especially say if you're doing something, you know how you can even walk get you something to drink, and you still got the voice in your head saying you can still listen to the gameplay. Can't do that. You got to sit there and read, and it tells you reading is fundamental.
Well, nothing's wrong. Yeah, reading is fundamental, so nothing's wrong with reading. I mean, it helps you up on your skills. So when you want to be articulate and bring out those big words, then I mean that's what reading does for you.
Oh, I just got to watch Stephen A. Smith with all them all.
My goodness. All right. All right, well, moving on. Oh man, what's going on with you, Slick, aka Slick's Sixth Player? What's happening with you, bro? What's going on? What you been playing?
Shimmy yam, shimmy yay.
Oh,
what have I
what?
been
What
playing?
did you go? Did you go old school like that? Shimmy,
Oh,
shimmy,
man.
ya, shimmy, ya,
Shimmy
ya.
yam, shimmy
Oh,
yay.
old dirty, old dirty.
Oh yeah, I was just listening to that before the show started, man. Very
I
literally.
might do a little Wu Tang next week for the intro music.
Well, I kind of like the sound of that.
Right, because cash rules everything around me.
Okay, all right.
course.
Listen to this. Listen to
course.
this. All right.
Of course,
Okay.
you know the vibes. But yeah, man, Six Layer here, man. What have I been playing? Now I've been playing work lately. So now I'm finally home for the weekend. Now I can start playing some games as soon as the show is over. I don't know what I'm gonna hop into, but I'm gonna play some games.
Cool. Excellent. Now we're moving on to my man. He's here. He's ready. Well, we kind of started a little late, but he was here, man. Our bruh, man. AKA the King of the Dolphins, or as people like to call him, the Dolphin King.
Oh shit, he is early. I just realized.
Yeah, he's here. He's here. Right. I was just saying, he's here, man. You didn't hear his voice earlier when he was talking?
No, I did. I just didn't dawn on me that he's early.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah. So anyway, what's up with you, Live Wire? What's happening?
Not much. It's been a while since I've been able to get on here early, man. Just hard, dog.
Okay.
Just
So are we going to refrain from stories about feces today?
Listen, man, I don't know. You know me, I just go off.
Okay.
You don't know what you're gonna get. Listen, I listen to the playbacks of the show a lot of times because I don't even know what the hell I said half the time.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. But okay, but at least we know that and I know that you go back and you like. I mean, now hold on, wait. This is the question right here. Do you come back and you say, well, that made sense, or do you come back and you say, damn, what the hell was I saying? Which one is it?
Nah, I just come back and be like, I don't know. I mean, just sometimes it's like when you play a game, you take a shot, you look at it and be like, let me see from a different perspective. Like, was that a good shot, bad shot, or I just like to watch the highlights. To be like, man, I was wilding. That shit funny as hell.
Nice. All right. Okay. All right. So we'll see which live wire we get tonight. All right. So moving on. PK Live, man. Thank you for asking me, and also thank other people that may not be in the chat yet. Thank you so much for the getting well wishes, because last week my temperature was at 100.9, Jack. I was I kept it rolling, but boy, I felt like it felt horrible. It was horrible. I was horrible. But I do feel a lot better. I sound a lot better. I know that. I tried to make a video. Well, I did make the video, and then I was like, "Why are you talking so low?" And then I explained it. Like, "Hey, man, I was sick, been sick, just trying to get it." I didn't play any games until just recently, and you will see quite a bit of gameplay from me tonight because I was catching up once I started playing Wednesday of this week. So that just tells you I was out for it. I didn't play anything until Wednesday when I streamed with Don Halo 5. So it's been a minute, but yeah, man, thank you. But anyway, PK, man, thank you for the well wishes and all that. How you been? What you been playing on, brother?
I've been great, man. Still playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Fantasy Star. Got a little bit, went back to Bleeding Edge. Just all over the place, really. Trying out the Resident Evil. Was it the I forget what's called Renaissance? It's like a Left 4 Dead kind of game, Resident
Okay.
Evil wise.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, just playing different games, trying to keep the mood up from all the situation we're in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And hey, Iron Mike, no, I didn't say 109. I said 100.9. Lord have mercy. Yeah, the more the brain damage, my big ass would be gone up a room with Jesus. That's where I'd be. That's where I'd be. 109. Man.
Resistance, PK's Resistance.
But, yeah,
Thank you.
I want to say Renegades. I had to look it up.
yeah, Renegades. Okay. But anyway, all right, PK. Anything else you want to add before we get on to the next person?
Yeah, happy Friday, family and friends. Just happy to be here with my gaming friends and family.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. PK is in a cheerful mood tonight, man. He's peaceful. It seems like he's at peace with everything. That's good. That's good. I don't know about Op though, but we're gonna find out. Op, what's going on with you, man? Are you at peace, like our boy
Yeah,
PK? Are you cool? You
apparently
chilling?
I've had too much free time, as y'all seen on Twitter. Good God,
Oh
man.
man, I tell you, man, that one you're becoming legend, bro. You're becoming legend.
I think I've single-handedly managed to solidify myself as an Xbox clown at this point. Heard that one post. Amount of free headspace rent I'm getting right now is crazy, man.
It's crazy, man.
Other than that, I just been chilling on Gears 5, Halo 5. I need to get back on Halo 5 more often because like I'm like level 67, 68. Like try to hit the 150. I need to get work on that. I don't got that much time.
Yeah, now you did see when the guy came in there and was telling us of how many XP it needs before you get that 152.
Yeah, I
I
want to
mean,
try. I just
bro,
I just
bro,
don't know
but
why.
yeah, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I mean, I'm on the race. That's why I've been playing Halo damn near every night. Well, streaming it at least. That's when I'm gonna be probably hopping on tonight and playing as a little bit of Halo 5, man, and then until we get there, But
Facts.
that's the goal. That's the goal. But all right. Well, big shout out before we get to the very first topic. I better say big shout out to my boy 108 Dragons. Get well. You know what I'm saying? He's still alive and kicking. He's still going through the motions, but you know what I'm saying? He's getting better. So just whether your heart is with, well, I can't even talk. You're in our prayers, bro. Everything's all good, man. And as always, man, I'll keep checking on you and keep praying for you and everything else. Get back on the show and start talking yo shit. It's gonna be great. But anyway,
Yeah, I talked to him a
uh,
couple hours ago. He's doing all right. He's
yeah,
just he needs some time. That's
right.
all. He's
Yeah,
all right,
no,
folks.
you gotta take all the time he needs, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, man. Just take all the time. It's just like with Triple Cup Chuck, man. I was kind of like, man, dude's gone, man. He's out of here. But Chuck is just not doing anything particularly with gaming. He's all about his comic books and he's still doing stuff with politics and stuff like that. But, I thought he would be coming back by the time that Andrew Yang left, but he was like, fuck it. He found him a new little gig for right now. And it's like everything. Some people need a break, need to take their time and do other things. And then, of course, so Chuck is always still a member here. I had to think about that real hard, but it's just one of those things where I could go back and think about so many things where I want to be out and gone and just bail out and just stay out for a long ass time. But I do this for another reason. You know what I'm saying? I do it, but I've never gotten to the point to where it's I don't love it. You get burned out on occasion, but it's but when somebody is they got another direction, they looking at other things they want to do, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. So big shout out to our boy Triple Cup Chuck, and until his arrival, you know what I'm saying? You always got a place here, man. This is family. So, all right, let's get to it. First topic, man. Let's talk about this, man. So, you know what I'm saying? He put out a he put out a post, and so I'm gonna go to you first, Op, on this. But you put out a post, and you was merely just talking about Sea of Thieves, and it's really crazy to me because it's like Twitter, just social media. It's all about your opinion. It doesn't mean that everybody's got to like it or appreciate it, but it seems to always feed a certain group of people to always want to tell you how wrong you are on your own thoughts. It's pretty crazy to me. So, you came to explain to us a little bit about your post and what this topic is really all about. It's not so much about Sea of Thieves, but it's just about the point about why are gamers getting so much hate for liking something that the other person don't. So go ahead, Op. Let us know.
For those who don't know, my tweet was, I'm just going to read verbatim, make it easier. So I basically said, everyone else laughed at the fact that Sea of Thieves will probably be the biggest or most successful new IP to come out this generation between Microsoft and Sony, despite the game community trying to bury it. Hashtag L keeps on giving. So, going to this tweet, I knew what I was doing. I knew it was going to make a lot of people mad. Even though I do believe what I said, it was a trap at the same time as well. So it's going to be like my little social experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's like, it's predominantly Xbox in general, but if you mention Sea of Thieves or anything positive in that light, it really brings out a toxic side in most people. And I'm not referring to people who disagree with my point because they're free to do that. People think Horizon Zero Dawn is bigger than Sea of Thieves. That's fine. For their side of the argument, they have more data, more numbers to look at for them to argue that point as well. I look at it a little bit differently, but that's just for another time. Overall, I guess, topic of just mentality, just like just devoted hate for just specific games or gamers, having a difference in opinion. Like, always been there, but I would say this generation's got more toxic, especially with especially with the direction this generation is definitely going since 2013 at this point. Where like, of course, each generation is always going to be a local winner and there's a loser. The one's more dominant platform, more dominant brand at that point, and the one's more dominant to get more of the followers behind it. For those followers, for some strange reason, have a really degree unjustified distaste for their brand is not top at that point. We did see last gen, but it wasn't to the degree it is this gen. Like, of course, Xbox 360 was a dominant brand that gen because PlayStation had such a big knockout of PS2, and before that, we were like a little really mixed on it at that point. Like, they're saying Xbox 360 is better, but they're kind of torn about the situation at that point. And Xbox One, but in this generation, Xbox One versus PS4, there's a stark contrast. Like, you either have to love PlayStation 4, hate Xbox One. If you don't fall within those guidelines, there's something wrong with you at this point. So, like, it's really amassed a cultic behavior around the platform choices generation. It's really just toxic and it's disgusting at this point. Because now it's snowballed to a point where now, like certain games, you get attacked for it. I didn't personally get attacked. People just screaming and call me a clown, whatever. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I've seen this behavior in worse degrees to other people in this generation in this community as well. But like, as far as where all this comes from, I think it's really insecurity at this point. Because you can look at the fact that these grown men and women who won are just zealous at this point. Not the whole PlayStation community, but just stands pretty much the zealous fanatics within the community. Or once they find, I guess, the bandwagon to fall on, I think it doesn't fall within that, just immediately cut from that point. And so at that point, we really started with a mentality of a sense where, like, this, I guess, first of all, I said earlier, if anything doesn't fall within these guidelines, it doesn't just exist to us at this point. It's really just a mess of that toxic culture in the game community as well. Because now, like, people really, like, they take this stuff to heart at this point. Like, for example, I mentioned earlier, you mentioned like Sea of Thieves. Like, I've got people who just first, like, they just can't stand a game, and people who like it. Point. I'm trying to understand, like, why. Like, why people like it in games just bother you so much? Like, I hate Fortnite, the game. I played it. I got to try for myself. I hate mechanics. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a dumb battle royale. I honestly can't stand seeing on my timeline. I leave it at that. I don't attack people who play. I don't attack people who post it on the timeline. When I don't attack people who play it at this point, it's just, if I don't like it, I leave it at that and move on. Point. people like they just can't like they see you like something, they just have to attack it. You just have to go out there and try to bury it and just demean it. It just really makes no sense to me. You'll get a couple people who are saying like everybody's tell their opinion, and they'll say on the flip side, but that specific opinion, hell that one, like damn it. So I'm like, I'm at this point, you gotta pick one or the other. Either you are entitled to their opinions, or you'll pick and choose which ones they are entitled to at this point that you disagree with. You can't have it both ways at this point, but like before I go keep going off left right now, I think it really stems from people's insecurities at this point. You can't take people having a different opinion. You can't necessarily take people going against the grain, go against the bandwagon, the trend, specific this generation, which is pretty much to love PlayStation, hate Xbox. Even with the casuals amongst out there who really don't know nothing about the industry of anything we do right now, just like play a couple of games on PS4 every now and then. About the extent to it, you talk to them about the other platforms, they'll just have some of them have like just a disdain hate for it. I figure like I'm asking like, well, why you hate it so much? Like the Gallon games, and exclusives. I'm like, they do at this point. They'll list all the reasons why how the exclusives they have don't count at this point because they don't either fall to AAA or realistic or some other like obscene category that apparently you just have to meet that nowadays. It's just like I don't know, just like the game community is really falling off over gens, man. It's just sad. Like I knew like always been console war our generations, but this is really the worst form it's ever taken. I think social media played a big part as well because everybody's more interconnected. Everybody's seeing what other people think. Pretty more connected with the world at this point. So, if you find out people that are like-minded, so you all start grouping together. Groups start getting bigger and bigger. Our massive our followers at that point. We can really snowball from that aspect as well. So, it's just for just to top it off, just like everything is pretty much fucked from now on because like it's gonna get worse from here on out. More toxic. It's gonna get more just. There's gonna be more gatekeeping. It's gonna be more just toxicity among the community. It's gonna be a lot more shaming and shunning of games what they don't fit in a certain category as well. Just like people don't realize like this kind of mentality can really be a detriment to the game community as a whole, not just gamers, but like nobody really want to care or realize it because they're on a popular side, and that's all that matters. But yeah, if people just be insecure, they grow up and learn that people have different opinions. Even if they do disagree with them, it's okay. It's okay to disagree with people. Nobody's going to think the same way. But everybody think the same way. This world would really bland, really dull. Like I can't live in a world where everybody thought the same at that point because like, what is it? What is it to there at that point? But I don't know. It's just me. Like this has been a fun social experiment, but like it's really kind of reinforced my opinions about the game community that it's really gone to a worse state as ever been before. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, man. What about you, Livewire? Why do you think that there's this crazy perception uh, from some gamers that feel that it's okay to destroy somebody's enjoyment for a game that they don't like? I mean, why is it that we got this type of tribalism, as somebody said in the chat? Like, why is it that if you say something about Bleeding Edge or if you say something about this, I don't hear people jumping on anybody for liking Dreams or for liking Concrete Graffiti or whatever, or Concrete Genie. Yeah, Concrete Genie. I mean, why is it that there's this group of people that just feel that if you say that this is a game that you're excited about, like Grounded or whatever, or Battletoads, that it's not acceptable?
I think it's multi-layer. To be honest, you got people that do it for different reasons. You got people that fear Xbox in general, so anything Xbox or Xbox related, they gotta bash it. I mean, look at the reviews for games that come up on Metacritic. Like you'll see like a game that has like a 90 have like a 75 user reviews, and it's like, how the hell you get a 70 and the game's rated a 90? And then you're like, oh, it makes sense because because you got a lot of people that hate on it for whatever reason, just because it's attached to the Xbox brand, and because the PlayStation, like, look, overall, no, there's not a ton of people that are PlayStation diehards, right? Out of the 100 and whatever million people that own a PlayStation, there might be like 3 million that are diehards, like the ones that post on their Instagram and all that stuff. Nobody else really, cares, you know. But because that number is bigger than what Xbox has, you're going to have people that are extremists that constantly just feel like you got to keep the boot on the back of the neck of the people that like this brand, because we don't want that brand to succeed, because we've already experienced that life during the 360 PS3 generation and we ain't like it. Granted, it had nothing to really do with Xbox. It was really more so Sony's choices, because everybody was ready to praise them. No different than what Xbox One going into this gen. People were ready to praise them, but once they made the decisions they made, people just people turn. I don't think that would be the same thing that happens this gen, but that's conversation for another time. But you know, look, man, it's just fear. It's fear. I mean, think about a lot of things that we've seen. Like people, I don't want you to have. Uh, I feel you're underneath me because you like this thing. We've seen a lot of shit like that throughout history. Oh, you're a Christian, so therefore I don't like you, or you're a Muslim, therefore I don't like you. You're a Buddhist, I don't like. You know what I mean? Like it's all kinds of crazy stuff. You're black, I don't like you. You're this, I don't like. You know what I mean? Like people feel, for whatever reason, they feel some people just feel threatened. You know, for whatever reason, I don't know if this is the only thing they have to hold their head on. I mean,
That's a great point.
because you know what I'm small segue, nothing too far. But we
Okay.
got
All
that
right.
we got that Last Dance coming out on Sunday, right? And they
Okay.
were talking about the guy who blew up the team was the general manager because he was jealous of the attention the players were getting, right? Jealousy is a motherfucker, man. And sometimes it goes against your best interest. And that's what it is. Like, think about
Jealousy
it.
is love and hate at the same time.
Think about it. Xbox is getting all this great press for the last couple of months, right?
It's
But the
been
only
about
thing,
what, about 5 months of just
yeah, but think
super
about it.
press?
When they talk about games for Xbox, do they bring up Halo? Not really.
Mm-mm.
Do they bring up Hellblade? No, not really. Do they bring up Everwild? Nah, not really. Not, I mean, granted, we don't know that much about it. Do they bring up Project Morrow? No. What do they bring up? Grounded, Sea of Thieves, and
ADK.
State of Decay. They bring up games they feel they can attack. And like even Ori, when Ori came out, still got a 90, but it had its bugs. It had its issues. They were like, "Oh, look how trash this game is." Mind you, when Bloodborne came out, that shit was fucked beyond. You know what I mean? Because that shit, the loading time was fucked. They had the frame rate, frame pacing issues, all that shit. People still was like, "It's a great game." So, but when they got this rating, nobody bitched about it. Even Xbox dudes didn't necessarily bitch about it, other than saying it's a hard ass game. They might not be necessarily fun to play like that, but again, that's people's preferences, whatever. You know what I mean? But as far as like, saying that it's a shit game and it's not quality, come on. Let's not be stupid here. But people say that shit because they're afraid. Any win for Xbox for some people is almost like them being stabbed in the back by somebody. Like they take it to the extreme, like, oh my god, this is hurting me so much. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's that serious. Like, I mean, it's fun to debate what you like. You know, you like a Honda versus a Nissan. Like, that's your preference. That's your preference. Whatever, bro. Or if you like freaking I don't know, when you were a kid, like Transformers more than GI Joes. Whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but to be like, well, somebody's like, yo, my favorite GI Joe is Snake Eyes, and somebody just walks in with a transformer. It's like, that's baby toys. You're stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing here, bro? We both still playing with toys. I don't know what you're talking about. Like you like somehow superior than me because your bitch, your shit transforms, and I just like the character. Like, but people, for whatever reason, they feel that if it matters that much to them, they got to shit on somebody else in order to feel better about themselves. I don't get it though, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, can't make it. You got to know, like, for these dudes to do the, they take people's faces and they put them on, like, homosexual pictures, and then they make the memes and the videos, and they do research, man. They find positions, man. They find pictures that people that aren't necessarily into that lifestyle should really know about, but they claim that you know that everybody that's an Xbox person is down with this, down with that, and you're part of this circle jerk and all this stuff. And it's just like, bro, for somebody to try to, go over here and do all this, something's wrong. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot, bro. But that's all I got for it, man.
Cool. And speaking of the hate, right? So I got me a little secret message in the DMs from somebody, and they said, how's those diabetes corporate slave? Who's the miserable? Who's that miserable life in YouTube failed channel? Uh,
Like I
that
said, insecurities.
just came by to remind you of your corporate, how much of a corporate slave you are.
Okay.
Just
The
like
irony. The
the
irony. Oh my
irony,
fucking
right?
God.
Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I remember I was in the I was, I think I said this last week. I don't believe, I don't know, I don't know if I did or not, but I probably did. But I was streaming the week before, and Halo 5, and it was me and Don, and there was somebody else, and then this person just came into our chat because we had it open, and it was like, oh, your gaming skills is as dead as your channel. Word? Really? Like, I mean, what? And then left. Like, I mean, look, man, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I guess that to some people, they may feel that that's supposed to hurt my feelings, or that's supposed to make me feel that it. I get subs every day. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's at a slow pace. I don't do all the algorithms and everything else that other people do to try to get as many damn subs as they possibly can. I just don't. I don't do videos every day. And so if somebody looks at that as saying that my channel has failed, then by all means. All I know is that I barely post, and I get more views than most people that post every week, that post every damn day. So I don't even trip about it. So again, the thing of it to me is, it's what this whole point, this whole topic is about, is that this hate, like, out of the blue, right when Live was over here talking, it just popped up, like at 8:41 my time. Like, what's the purpose of it? It's just because people have nothing better else to do. They really need the attention. They really need somebody to talk to. And just like I do with pretty much everything else that I see when I get these type of DMs, I'm just gonna ignore it, keep it moving. So let me go to 100 on this. 100. What is your thoughts about this whole situation while people are tripping about other person's preference? Why do we even have to even worry about this? Why is it that there's this mob mentality to tell people that a game that they like can't be liked because it doesn't have a Metacritic score, or it doesn't have the sales numbers for it to be possibly fun or good?
Oh man, it's that, man. It's been going on since I've been on the interweb. Like, I've been on the interweb. People just do it to do it. Some people don't have no lives. Some people figuring like they can control you. I even heard Xbox. I don't like Sea of Thieves, but why would you put it down? Now, I would joke because I entertain. I'm not gonna sit there and throw a bunch of specs on my channel. So I'll say, send the order 1929. But I'm doing that for entertainment. But I'm not telling you not to go out and buy it. Like, why you go buy that? And they'll go on Twitter. That's why we showing this screenshot sometimes. Like, man, look how good this game is. It aged real well. And then you'll get, because my comment section is always Xbox has no games and this and that. But see, that I feeds into that. I thrives off of it because I'm like, yeah, I ain't got no games, but you sure worry about what I play.
Sure
I
is.
had one dude talking about you a fraud until you beat Hellblade. Do me a favor, get a bag in there and slap the shit out of your ass. Well, I beat Hellblade when I feel like beating Hellblade. They think about it, some people, just because they got gamer scores, don't mean they can kick ass. Some people are achievement hunters. You know what I'm saying? I know certain people, that's what they do. Their achievement, they'll do the achievements. But go play some multiplayer against me. Go play something. You get your ass wear out. You know, I play different genre of games. You know, I go back, especially if it's a good, great old game. I'll go back and play it just to play it. I play old game like Pac-Man and all that other stuff they can like. And a lot of people do it because they figured that this other person can do it. They can tell you. And it's a lot of people are sheeps out here. And they're going to run what their favorite YouTubers say, their favorite Twitter tag member, trolling member is. I get tagged this shit every day, and I be sitting here like, what do you tag me in for? But you're not going to get too much of a response out of me. I read them sometimes when I'm bored, but it's like, what are you going back and forth? And that's on all the sides. Because some people I be seeing going back and forth off a person's opinion. You don't need to do all that. I can sit there and say, I just don't like that game. Like I said, I don't like turn-based RPGs. But I ain't dogging you. Oh, that game is all this and all this other stuff. You know, like people say, oh, you need to get No Man's Sky. I talked about No Man's Sky too damn much. I be considering myself a fraud in my life. So I said, I can't touch it. I called it everything in the thing, but that's just me. But if I know a couple of people that I game with almost every night, they play it. They enjoy it. They're trying to talk me into getting it. Because we like that sci-fi element. But people want to grow up, and you got to understand, some of these people are some kids, and some people are some bitter-ass adults. They ain't got no life. And they thinking that some people some people like to make people try to be miserable. You know, try to make your day might be doing good and want to put you down. Because what I always get, your homie fat ass mega, it is what that man Wader got to do playing video games. You know, it's like I say, it get weird, but as me, as a personality on the interweb, I expect that.
Right.
Because it comes with the territory. You can't, everybody wanting kumbaya, everybody want to be nice and all that other stuff. No, it is some people out there that loves to try to put people down. And I just saw some good YouTubers when I first started, ain't off the grid because of the negativity. And they decided, I just didn't need this shit in my life. I ain't making too much of money, but I just saw some great YouTubers when I first started that was good. But some people can't hang and then some people feel like, well, if I do this, I can turn into a star. Or if I go with this certain faction, you know what I'm saying? You go with this certain faction that they're gonna really, really look up for you. You might be getting used and don't even know. So it is what it is. I just tell people, man, y'all stay up. Don't let nobody, like I tell the ladies out there, don't let nobody fuck up your happiness. When you get in that mirror, I don't care what you look. You take to yourself every day. You the baddest MF in the valley. Nobody can. When you go outside, I just want you to just go.
Yeah, but a lot of these fanboys, that's exactly what they've been doing. You know, and the truth is staring right back at them, and they're not realizing that they fucked up.
Right.
So many ways.
Let me before 100 before you finish, let me go ahead and read this right fast. Thank you for the Embers Rogue Agent XP. He said finally caught the show live on Mixer. Great podcast. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Rogue. Thank you. Matter of fact, man, if you could send this out, share it, whatever, that would be great. You know what I'm saying? Throw us some of them zappers if you know how to do that, or what they call them, sparks. That'd be great as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, definitely thank you for the support, no doubt about it. But go ahead, 100, finish it up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if anybody out here that's on Twitter, like I've set a trap and people fell for it. But you know what I'm saying? But that it happens all the time. I know my man, my good friend, he does the same. He ain't even tagging these people in it. He tags his friends in it. And
he about ruthless. He don't give.
It turns into him. But sometimes I have to get on him. I have to go text Hebot because I'm tired of my phone blowing up. Cut it off. Don't talk to him no more because that's what they want, attention. But I don't know. I think I get some too crazy because they be making memes of Mega and all these other people. I guess since I don't go battle nobody, I guess they just like, I'm gonna leave that crazy fool alone. But nah, it's just, if y'all want to start YouTube, you want to do all this stuff, especially right now, don't let nobody mess up none of your happiness. Get on any game that you want, any system that you want. Even if it's that indie that old pony station over there, now do that and just enjoy yourself. Mega does it. Live be going over there. Sometimes Live don't even come back home until like 6 days.
I'm gonna have to be over there for a
knocking
little
on the
while
door.
once I play this Final Fantasy VII remake once I get done with Halo. But I definitely do. I definitely got to say this though too. I have to give a big shout out to my boy Bloody, cause now I'll get to finally experience PlayStation greatness. I'll get to play some. I'll get to try it out. I'm gonna stream it just for one day, just because Death Stranding. So shout out to Bloody, man. Give a big shout out to Bloody.
Hey, you know that I got you,
have
big
fun with
brother. You
that.
know I got you.
I'm gonna try it out. I can't wait to see what this game
What was that
plays
that
like.
we talk? What do we call it when we're sexing? That people have been calling it death blanding.
Yes.
Oh,
Delivery Man Supreme.
I mean, Game of the Year nominee. That's what it was. Yeah.
I won't go that far. Won't go that far. But anyway, go ahead, 100. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, but no, I'm done, man. Hey, Bloody, we gonna do a favor for you. We're just gonna get you a bag of pennies and just slap the shit out of yourself with that comment we gave it.
It's all good. Don't worry. I was like, I already got a sock full of butter, so it's all good.
Oh my God. Hey, Fred, you probably right, bro. I probably need to play it for a good 10, 15, 20 hours first and then get
It gets
to it.
good.
What's going on? What's going on, Truth? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna probably have to do it. I see Chris Hart's in the building. Handy. Man, Fred's in here. Of course, our boy Jazzy Noop and Rain. Man, and look at Shin Weapon. Thank you for the zappers, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But anyway, yeah. As you see this Batman gameplay, baby, on the PC. Yes. Exquisite. Anyway. Damn. All right, let me see. Who I want to go? I want to go to PK now. What's your interpretation behind this, man? What do you think? I mean, we know it's not necessary, but why do you think that they do this? I mean, I don't see people attacking the games that they like or they tout. You know what I'm saying? You know, for the few games that most of them tout, because they only talk about the same 6 games. But let's say that they talk about something else like a Gravity Rush or something like that. I don't see people just going out and attacking them like that. So why do people feel the need to want to just take out games that people enjoy? You there, PK?
Well,
Oh, okay, there you go.
I think when you step back and look at it, it's a selective kind of games, right?
Mhm.
Selective group of people and selective games they're attacking. Because when they said something about Grounded being childish and all that, but they love Animal Crossing, right? They don't say anything about Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and all that stuff, but they talk trash about Grounded. You understand what I mean? So my thing is, it's more or less like they're trying to one up. That's what it feels like. They want to one up someone to make them feel, you know the mentality of someone putting someone down to make themselves feel better. And that's basically what it appears to me, is they're just trying to, specifically for the Xbox brand, I would say, because again, they don't do that with the Nintendo brand, who is always putting out kiddish games, right? Or games that appeal to the younger audience, I would say. But particularly like Grounded, I just thought that was a mess. How they just it seems like a certain people who will never play these games have something terrible to say, even though the game isn't what they particularly like. Like I would say that I don't particularly like Sekiro. A lot of people love that game. I did not. It's not for me, but I didn't say it was a bad game. It just wasn't for me. But again, I'm not attacking the game. I have nothing bad to say or any of that stuff. I just left it alone. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is I think those people who attack games want to put someone down to make themselves feel better to try and win some sort of bragging rights. I suppose it's like a ego thing at the end of the day.
Insecurities.
And it's and again, they're not doing that with Nintendo or mobile games or none of that stuff. It's particularly with the Xbox brand. So anything that Xbox does, even if it's different, even if they complained and they wanted something and here it is and they still complaining, it's because it's Xbox. It has nothing to do with anything else. More or less because this is what it is. All I can think is these people are insecure and they feel internally upset. Maybe they're upset because their console choice is PlayStation. I mean, it's not just them, right? PC guys. Here it is. Xbox is announcing all these great things about their console, and here's a PC guy in the comments talking about, oh, it's not that great. Well, if you're not going to buy it, why are you in the comments and telling people this is not great? Is people are excited for a reason. And I'm a console guy. Don't get me wrong, and I play PC as well. I play my PC every week, almost every day. Gears 5 all the time. But at the end of the day, I'm not trashing on. Everything has something to offer, but at the end of the day, it's not for you. Why are you here trying to ruin someone else's experience? It's because they're not happy with their particular experience. They're not happy with what they have, and that's what it boils down to. They don't know what to say or do because they don't have nothing to play, even though they claim they do. Let's be real. If they had something to play, why are we having this discussion? Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about this? I feel the same about the PlayStation guys. I feel like after their single player moment is over, they go right back to the multiplayer games that they have, Call of Duty. And that's it. On Xbox we have plenty of multiplayer games, but on that particular console they don't. And that's what it comes down to. And that's kind of where I'm getting at is like they want someone else to feel bad because they feel bad, and that's what it is. They feel upset, bored, have nothing else to do. Because if they wasn't bored, they would be playing the games and not worrying about what somebody else is saying or doing on Twitter. That's legit. But they're there because they're checking to see who else is doing what. And that's all I have to say.
All right, cool. All right, Slayer, what about you, man? What's your thoughts about this?
Wow, man. Once again, every time I'm like one of the last, to comment on something, and it's like, I hear such great answers from the panel, and it makes me think of other things, and consider other things that I wasn't even thinking about, in terms of the subject. And I can name all types of things, but you know what it is? It's just like, it's like a grand psychosis or something. I don't know. These folks out here, they act like children, which I say almost every week now, right? This is like the mindset that these folks have to have. Like, you're not happy with what you have to stomp on somebody else's parade or whatever, This is like, if you have all these games to play, then go play them. Why are you DMing people and hopping in their party chats and all this stuff and, like, what? You need medical attention. Specifically, psychiatric attention, because there's something wrong with these people. It makes no sense. Sea of Thieves, people love to talk about this game. I don't care about that game at all. At all. I'm not into pirates or any of that stuff. I haven't seen any movie with pirates. If they got pirates in it, I'm not watching. But the game is successful. And good for Sea of Thieves. I'm not concerned about it, but other people like it. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about the game because I'm an adult. This is how adults operate. I'd rather spend my time talking and playing something I like. than sitting there and starting arguments with people and all this wild shit they do every day. It's just like, what? And you see, it was the setup even. And even if he didn't put any, hashtags or whatever, you saw what happened with the Ops post. They came flooding in with the same old crap they say every time. It's just mindless, and I hate discussing this every week. It's just annoying. That's all it really is, and that's all I really have to say on the subject. It'll drive me nuts thinking about it.
All right, what about you, Bloody? Take us home.
Good talk. He's already home. All right.
All right,
Wow.
good. Okay, yep, there you go.
Oh, were you addressing me?
I said Bloody.
Oh, I didn't hear it because it cut out for a second.
It's only that RTX real quick, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead.
No, so like the whole complaint about everyone hating on games that they don't even play, as I don't understand it, because of the fact that it's just like, why are you gonna hate on a game that you never even gave the time of day to, as well as you even invest into? It's even worse when you think about the fact that it's coming from people who don't even play an ecosystem. I was like, me and you, Mega, and a few others on the panel, we're all gamers. We have multiple systems, we have multiple consoles, we have multiple games across all those. I can talk about a lot of those PlayStation games because I play those PlayStation, and I've had complaints about those PlayStation games because it's very apparent. And you can see where they're trying to copy other games or do things that other games have already done. But when they do something good and they're talented, and even when it comes to the story, I always give them props. You don't see the same thing coming from the other side. You look at what Gears has achieved as a story, as a cinematographic masterpiece, especially with the original 3 on the 360 era and the PS3 era. That game won awards for cinematography because of the technology that Unreal was able to do at the time and the graphics that it had at that time. You didn't see many other games that were able to do what Gears did and get the kind of accolades that Gears did. And yet people want to downplay what they achieved and what they were able to set a precedent for. Look at games like Forza. They have sent a milestone and an absolute beyond comparable aspect of graphical fidelity for high-end cars and how they're able to encapsulate that. Very few games can do that. Even Gran Turismo comes close, but they've had issues because they don't have near the variety or even the sheer in-depth aspects of some of those cars like Forza has. The fact that there's so many people who have so little time in their day that they would rather sit there and talk shit about games that they aren't playing on games on a console that they're not playing is even worse. That's all it is they have that much free time and boredom to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gross. I mean, Chris Hart, let me ask you this question: why are you not playing Final Fantasy VII Remake? I mean, a lot of you guys is over here acting like it's an exclusive as it is, and it's not. But I mean, why are you not playing that game? Is it that it's not something that you into, or what?
Did you already beat it?
Oh, okay. All right. So I just wanted to ask that question. Hopefully you'll give us an answer in the chat. All right. So, I mean, the reason why I wanted to make this the first topic is because, of what happened with Op. Op just wanted to talk about the Sea of Thieves situation, and then they just kind of flood. Like, I don't get it. I mean, everybody's made great points. It's that it's fear. It's the fact that it's this inferiority complex where they feel like, if it's not a certain type of game, then it can't be good. And then if you have this mentality, how boring and how dead gaming would be if it only had just two type of genre of games. AAA single player experiences and Call of Duty. How dead would that be? Thank God that there's plenty of other games out there for us to play other than just the same old, same old, same old. That's why I can get into games like Bleeding Edge. That's why I can get into games like Sea of Thieves, and I can get into games like Grounded. I can get into games like Project Spark or like Dreams. I could get into those type of games. I can play. I don't know about Death Stranding. We'll find out here soon enough. but I can play Final Fantasy. I can play turn-based, so I can play the new Final Fantasy 15. It doesn't matter. It's about the experience of the game and what the developers want to come out of it, not what you just like all the time. Because it's a known fact that there are certain gamers over there, they don't buy as many games as what Xbox games are. They're not as or Nintendo. There's a diversity thing that's going on. There's a diversity gap when it comes between gamers that buy games from PlayStation and Nintendo. So much for than it is Xbox. See, people can talk about, oh, there's anime, these Japanese games. They're pretty much all the damn same if you really think about it. I play a lot of them. I know. There's a few diamond in the roughs, but for the most part, they have the same type of sequence. They have the same type of, same type of cutscene. The same type of look, style. I understand that there's games that has a different type of art style or whatever, but it's the thing to me is where if you just play the same things over and over again, I could see why so many people would just so many people would just stay on the internet because you would get bored easily. Anyway, so let's get on to the next topic while we staying on the PlayStation. Let's talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. Some rumors came out. Whoa, all right, Jazzy. Thank you very much. With the Embers, he said, it is true for Xbox. He says for Xbox, I love the variety and that we have all kinds of games we can play. Some can't handle that. You know what? I totally agree with that. 100%, man. Thank you so much for the Embers, man. That's special. Man, and you know what I'm saying? And I see Devin in there. I won't say. See, like Lemon's not here. But Lemon's the main one that wants to call games trash. I know that other people that call games trash. I don't ever call a game trash. I don't have no interest in Death Stranding, but I won't call it trash. I just won't because I
will.
know that
It's trash.
Shut up. I just, but to me, it's like I just don't. I don't care. Like it's not something for me to talk about. I'd rather talk about Kojima and his shitty attitude towards certain type of games that got him to the point to where he's at. And feeding off of American culture to get him to the position where he's at, and then to try to change it up and to go about face, thinking that his game was going to just blow up, and it didn't. So now he's got to resort right back to what he don't like, or what he claims that he don't like. Because I guarantee you, PT is not going to be just some kind of if he does do PT or whatever next game that he does is horror, it's going to have some kind of elements where you get a pew pew in it. I guarantee you. So anyway, But let's talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Great game, fantastic game. It's one of the best new IPs that came out this gen, I should say. But there's some things out there. There's some things going on that I hear PlayStation fans are not enjoying too much. Now I want to get you guys' opinion on this. So basically, Horizon Zero Dawn is looking for writers are looking for devs that has MMO experience. They have to. It's required. So basically, what's going on, and it's saying that the new Horizon Zero Dawn 2, it's also been rumored that they're going to be a trilogy, which I think they'll go beyond a trilogy. I think it'll be a trilogy probably for what's her name? EO. What's her name? Anybody?
Eloy.
Eloy. That's her name. Yeah. I think it may be her trilogy, but I think that the game, as long as it sustained popularity, the game is going to continue to keep coming. I mean, that's just what games and movies do. If the game is popular, it's going to have a sequel. So, but they're gonna add up to it. So it's basically saying that it's going to be an open world, dramatic storytelling, and RPG and have RPG elements. But it's also going to have co-op elements into it, which I'm hearing a lot of PlayStation fans are not excited about, if this is true. And basically, from what the writers want to try to do, they want to try to make this game into a MMO-esque type game. And look, I don't know about you, but for me, when I think of MMOs, I don't think about stories in MMOs. I don't know if anybody else. I know PK I'm sure that that Bloody and Slayer maybe dabbled with some with some MMOs. But for me, I mean, look, I mean, I'm playing when I jump in and I play Fantasy Star Online 2. I kind of get into the story. I'm more into the character building. I'm more into the character than I am into the story. When I play Bless, the same thing. And so I don't know about that. So it's basically saying that it's going to have more players involved into the game to where the story aspect of it will still be there, but they're going to add this twist to it to where it has co-op feel. Now I don't know if it's going to be two-player co-op or maybe 3 to 4 player co-op, but this is the vision, and this is showing also that the game is far away from release. They're just now trying to get everything put together. So for people that was having this wild vision and thinking Horizon Zero Dawn 2 was coming out anytime in the next year or so, it's not happening. But let me go to you, Bloody. Let me go to you here first, Bloody, on this one. What is your thoughts about this? Do you think that this is a cool idea? And why would and why would there be PlayStation fans that would be up in arms about the co-op aspect of it? I mean, do you think that the MMO aspect elements or strategy will work with a game like Horizon Zero Dawn?
I don't think that it would necessarily work in its like strategy wouldn't necessarily work in that game because strategy is kind of and the way that Horizon Zero Dawn worked the first time, strategy wasn't necessarily very apparent. Yes, you could set traps. Yes, you can guide some of the robot dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff into traps and stuff like that by working them. Um, but for the most part, you didn't necessarily need them. Like when you did use them, sometimes if it wasn't something that required you think ahead, you would kind of just throw them down on the fly while you're in the middle of something else. I was like, for the most part, you would simply just be using the more aggressive stance and like the melee combat as it wasn't necessarily the best. And the worst part about it is that it tried to make the focus was to use the bow, right? Kind of like what makes the primary aspect of Tomb Raider, especially the new reboot, was the bow. However, there was a lot of issues with the hit detection with the bow as it was now, because there were several times where I've been streaming and there were several
little dragon back in the
instances,
back over there cussing his ass off back there in the back.
like there was aspects where I had clear hits on many enemies that it phased right through them, and it was clearly right when they were should have been hit, and it's just like, okay, what the actual hell is going on? Why is this not considering a hit or anything like that, right? And it's just it was bad. And you think about Tomb Raider, right? The bow feels good, but the other weapons are just kind of feel like they're just there. Yeah, they added in the guns for you to have that variety, but the guns are not the primary aspect. They're not the primary focus. They want you to focus on using the bow because the bow feels perfect in Tomb Raider. That's what they try to do with Horizon Zero Dawn, and the bow sometimes just feels like it's not always as responsive or as perfect as it could be. Now, if they perfect that in the second game, then yeah, I was like, but as it is, I was like, that game does not set a lot for needing of co-op. And as we've seen here, outside of like obvious multiplayer games, just Call of Duty or others, Battlefield, for example, or fighting games, a lot of there's really no multiplayer that exists in a lot of first party games from PlayStation. Yes, there was the multiplayer in Uncharted and things like that, and even there was the multiplayer in The Last of Us. But how many of them had consistent ongoing updates years on that added something new every time, like we see with Halo, or that we see with Gears, or that we see with any of those kinds of games? Even State of Decay has new content. A lot of those games have continued updates because of the fact that multiplayer is not just like an add-on or an afterthought. It's a part of the whole experience.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. Let me go ahead and big shout out to New York Music. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, man. Or I should say NYT Music, stand for the Embers, man. Thank you so much. He said Horizon Zero Dawn's best PlayStation game. Period. Can't wait for part two. Keep it gaming. I God of War is still the best game for PlayStation for me personally. But Horizon Zero Dawn is second. Is a close second. Or third, maybe because I really, you know, I'm saying it's a guilty pleasure game, but I did like, um, oh, I can't even think of the name of the game right now. It's from the same game that we play on Xbox 100. The makers who make that game.
Persona.
The, no, 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 not Persona. Oh man, Until Dawn. Until Dawn. That's it. Sorry, Until
Oh yeah.
Dawn. I love Until Dawn. I
Oh,
think that game.
Supermassive.
Oh, in Detroit. In Detroit, I have to also, but Detroit isn't
So
PlayStation anymore.
Supermassive made Until Dawn, and the game that they made was the Dark
Control,
Pictures
you mean?
Anthology. No,
No, no, no, no, no. It's Until
Supermassive
Dawn.
made Until Dawn, and they made the Man of Medan because they
Yeah,
made the
Yeah,
Man of
Man of
Medan.
Medan. That's the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I follow on. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I was trying to. It lost me for. I was like, it's right there. That's embarrassing. I know we're talking touting it, but I love that. It's pretty much. Well, Detroit is a much better storied game, but Until Dawn was just fun, just absolutely fun. For God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and for well, they won't have another Detroit, so hopefully whatever else new that they'll come out with, maybe Ghost of Tsushima. Um, that will be the reason for me to buy a PlayStation. But yeah,
Supermassive didn't make Detroit Become Human. That was
I know that
actually
that was the yeah I know they're not exclusive anymore.
no. But I'm saying Supermassive didn't make Until Dawn at all. That wasn't their game, or they didn't make Detroit Become Human. That was a different studio.
Yeah, I know who made that was Quantum Dream that made that
Yeah,
studio.
Quantum Dream. Yeah.
That made Beyond Two Souls and all that. But anyway, all right, go ahead, buddy. Oh no, you was done. I'm sorry. I went to who did I go to? I didn't pick nobody, did I? All right, let me go to PK on this. What do you think about this? Do you think that the co-op, if it's 2 player, 4 player, 3 player, do you think that that would work in the new Horizon Zero Dawn, or are you kind of like some PlayStation fans that think that that won't work? And what about the whole MMO style? Is that something that you feel that's a little weird too?
So I just think it all depends, right? Because most of the multiplayer that has been added to any of the Sony first party games are been tacked on. It wasn't built from the ground up with the idea of co-op or multiplayer. Um, so if it's something similar to like how Resident Evil just did a separate game altogether for a multiplayer, and the core game is still its single player's story driven game, then I could see that maybe, but even still, like kind of like Letty mentioned, it may not get the same support. So it's more like a tacked on a thing to. Uh, I'm not saying that's what it is. It could be. I don't know. If they go a different direction and make it an open world kind of feel, where it's uh, more characters you could play as and more things to do to keep the game alive longer than the 30 hours, then I could see that being a possibility. Um, but it depends on which direction it is. If they're not doing that, then it's going to be another tacked on multiplayer experience, which no one's going to play and no one's going to care about. The only way someone's going to be interested is if it's open world type of direction. Um, you know, because I understand a lot of people play GTA 5 for the online, and it wasn't designed that way, but it's a separate game. GTA Online is separate from the actual single player element, so that's kind of what I'm getting at. It has to be a whole different game for it to work if it's going to be like that, or completely where it's built from the ground up with co-op in mind, and or it's just going to be another uh, Metal Gear Solid, Last of Us, whatever you want to say, just a forgettable multiplayer experience.
Well, it's supposed to be built from the ground up. I mean, this is a next gen game. It is slated for it. Of course, it's just now getting in production, but it's basically um, they feel that, and I think Sony did allude to the fact that they were wanting to add more multiplayer online to their games. So I mean, so you don't think that like like the success with games like Gears, Halo, stuff like that. That's a three, that's 3 to 4 player co-op. You don't think Horizon Zero Dawn could have that same type of success?
Well, I'm not saying it wouldn't have success, but I would say that they don't. Their direction of how they build their games is much different than how Microsoft games are built. Right?
Right, right, right.
For the most part, most Microsoft games are built with the co-op multiplayer in mind. So they have the dedicated servers, right? They have all these things built put in place already because from the get-go that was uh, the decision was to make this be able to play um, with other people. Now, and we can all agree that most of the PlayStation first party games are all single player experiences. And even with the multiplayer no matter what we say and do, it's still just an add-on. It's a forgettable experience. No one is online playing those games online when there's better games to play multiplayer wise. That gets the support doesn't and dedicated servers, all the bells and whistles. I think it'd be fine if, like you said, if they had that direction. But I'm just not sure because they never did that before. I'm just not sure that's the direction they're going because I've never seen them do it before. I'll be happy, if and surprised if they do it that way. But my experience is a lot of the Japanese owned games has terrible co-op. They're not drop in and drop out. They don't have true matchmaking. It's just a tacked on thing. They don't have dedicated servers, blah blah blah, and it goes on and on.
It's
So I
not that
just
it's not that it's tacked on or anything. It's just a very fact of that it's more archaic because you do have the drop in drop out in some games. The issue is that you have to set up a server or you have to be a part of a server and you have to
but
join a
that's
certain lobby. It's
but
old
that's
school. But the
but
thing
that's
is,
what I'm
it's
getting
still
at. That's peer to peer. I'm talking about dedicated servers, how the games are done on Microsoft's platform, where it is dedicated servers. That's why you can jump in and out on Forza or Gears and blah blah blah. But when you peer to peer, you got one person trying to connect to another person, and you got to do all these hoops and bounds to do it. Let's just say, and I'm not trying to trash on nobody, but Code Vein is like that. You got to put in a password to play with your friend, and if your friend dies or a cutscene kicks in, it boots them out, and they got to do it all over again. Same thing with
but I
Dark
mean that
Souls.
that, that was a thing that's been but yeah, you're right. But they added in the password to make it so that way it's easy for you to directly because the fact that those games were built around the concept of hey, anyone can come into your game at any time because of the whole invade kind of thing
I'm
that started
sorry.
with Dark
I'm
Souls.
sorry. But did you play? Did you play? Well, I'm not trying to get off topic, but I'm sorry. That's a flawed way of doing it because there's other games that have invade as well, and you don't have to deal with that, such as Watch Dogs. There's drop in and drop out co-op, and you can just turn off the invasion, and you don't have to put a password in. So that's just backwards to me. I'm sorry.
And what I'm saying is that they're very old school and archaic. Yes, I'm not what I'm saying is that that's how it's been, but I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't modernize and accept the fact that it's a new way, but I'm just saying in those aspects for the Japanese side, that's just something that they're used to because that's how it's always been in Japan. But I do agree that they do need to be more
Well,
modernized. If you're
I
looking
mean,
at the games.
they got their Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought that wasn't that made in the United States?
Yes,
Uh,
Or was it? Wasn't it made in Europe and the United States? And now they got rid of the European studio, offices or whatever, and now they're just based in the United States now.
I believe the creator Helmist he was from their European side, and then they moved a majority of the staff into an American studio, and then they got rid of the old European side.
Right.
so,
So
so my point was there. It's just the mindset. I'm not sure what direction they're going to go. I would hope for the best that they do build it from the ground up with the idea of having the co-op, right? And everyone can share the experience of the story together and not like what I just described, the Code Vein, which is a nightmare. Um, and and instead of a tacked on multiplayer aspect that no one's going to play. So if they're doing all this hiring, I hope their intentions are to make this bigger than anything the first one ever was, and that's my only thing I have to say about it.
Okay. All right. What about you, operations? Do you you have a take on this?
As far as like the job listings and hirings, like from a story standpoint, that's an observation standpoint. I think that's a good direction for them to go into as well, because there's nothing wrong with trying to deepen and enriching your side quests, your quests at that point. Get people more, I guess, not involved, but more captivated by the characters they have in the games, make them more immersive, more appealing to them as well. You can never fault them for still trying to improve that, but I'd like to see how they try to hire or try to improve the gameplay of the game as well. I've watched the gameplay of it as well. Here are some issues peers have had as well. I would like for them to try and make improvements on that going forward. I'm not saying there aren't, but so far I'm not sure if they are going in that direction. Like I would like to see them also try. I would like to see a confirmation that they are trying to improve the gameplay as well, but I'll have to wait and see until we see gameplay of the Zero Dawn 2. As far as the rumors about the co-op mode at this point, as far as the hate they're getting, like, this is just a regular thing with certain sections of the PlayStation community where they have like perturbed by the thought of social mechanics in video games, i.e., multiplayer or co-op at this point. I get that is not for you in a sense, but like this hate is getting, it really makes no sense. It really implies a lot of things.
So you seen it too? Yeah, I was just like, wow, where's this hate coming from?
Like I was talking to one dude saying it's forced and the game's gonna ruin it. I'm like, one, this is a
yeah,
rumor.
that's what
Two,
they're saying.
confirmed
Yeah.
it's forced as well. His argument saying it's just a co-op standalone. It's gonna be forced. I'm like, Wolfenstein Youngblood exists and the co-op is not forced in that game. That is a co-op standalone. You play by yourself, or it's going to be an option for you. And I'm pretty sure if this rumor is true, it's going to be an option for him as well in Horizon Zero Dawn 2. So like, I don't understand like this taste they have. It's more likely going to be an option. Like Guerrilla Games, Sony, they know their audience. They are crowned for bullshit narrative. They are king single player, which I don't agree with. So on the veins of that, they will not force co-op. One of their biggest new IP on the generation. She might top them. We don't know for sure. We have to see when it comes out. Now is their biggest new IP right now. It's single player, and they market at the hell that was single player. They would not force a co-op standalone. They would not force co-op into the game, not make it an option at this point. So that's dumb. They will be out the option for it. I mean, like, it's kind of same thing with Battle Royale, me implementing certain games. Like, as long as it doesn't take away nothing from the game, I don't see a problem with making an option at this point. Like, there's a topic saying, I'm not going to try to get up too much topic that doesn't belong Halo at that point. You can rethink that, but my personal thing is like, if it's an optional mode, it doesn't replace a game mode you already have, what's the issue with it? You have an argument that it's going to take away resources for development, but like, why the hell even care about the resources they're using? They're developers work on the game. You worry about enjoying the game, it's going to be free at that point. Don't worry about them working on it. This is not an issue for you at that point. And the same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Even co-op in the game is not going to ruin it. They have to build around it for a story. It should take away any elements that are already established in the first game as well. If anything, it's going to add on to it at this point. So, in my mind, there's no negatives in playing co-op in this game. It's like people are just scared of social interaction, I think. I don't understand why they hate it so much unless you're scared of being social in a video game. Someone are complaining about saying, I don't want to rely on someone trying to get through a mission or a level and they're trash. Or like, I don't want to rely on somebody and get through an encounter. I'm like, if you're worried about not being able to get through encounters, does that say they are trash? Like, are you implying they are trash these games? You'd rather play by yourself so you can struggle by yourself at this point? That's what it looks like to me. If you're worried about someone with you fucking up, that kind of speaks to your own skill. That speaks to your own skills at that point as well. This co-op is a cooperational thing, which implies by the name. But like, this damn was so stupid to me. Like, you're not worried about someone messing up your game. Like, just play by yourself then. If you do choose to play with someone else and you're thinking they're gonna be bad, that speaks to you as well. If y'all can't get through it together, that really speaks to both of you, not just one person at that point. That's just my general thoughts. Like, y'all being scared of co-op games, like, just stop. It's silly. I understand you not liking it, but like, this unnecessary distaste you'll have is just dumb to me. And that's all I gotta say.
All right. What about you, Livewire? Where you stand on this?
Man, look, man. Why people? It still kind of falls into the same category of like why people hate. You know what I mean? On the Sea of Thieves type thing, like with the whole opinions of you gotta you gotta like what I like. And if you don't like what I like, then therefore you're a stupid person type stupid shit. I mean that why that is, I don't know, man. It gets old though. I tell you that much. That shit gets real old. I mean, even like what you were saying before, talking about the gamers and like where a lot of PlayStation dudes, go with the narrative. Xbox has no games. Xbox guys don't play games. The Xbox guys are by far the dudes that own multiple consoles
Mm-hmm.
and PCs, which is like the craziest shit. So wait, we don't play no games, but yet we own the PlayStation, the Switch, the Xbox, and the PC. What the fuck are we doing then? We just got all this shit just to look at it? What the hell are you talking about? Like that's to me, like it goes along with the whole Sea of Thieves thing, man. It's kind of similar, man. It's just like people just hating. Just I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just
It's just confusing, right? Yeah.
yeah, because it's just like why do you hate like what does somebody like Animal Crossing? That game, a lot of people like it. I could care less. I have a Switch. I have no plans of ever playing that game. But I'm not gonna shit on anybody who wants to play it. Why would I care if it's not for me? There's a ton of games that people like that I don't like. Xbox has FIFA and all the other games. I tried it a long time ago. I realized soccer is not my thing, dog. I just let it go. I don't shit on people that like it though. Like, bro, you like soccer, you like soccer. That it ain't for me. But ain't no sweat off my back. I don't understand people's infatuation with trying to convince people to like shit that they like. When to be honest, I don't even think they like the shit that they say they like. Like like this dude not too a couple of days ago on Twitter was telling me how Grand GT Sport is so much better than Forza and all this shit, and like it's the most played game and all this shit. I'm like, how the hell is GT Sport the most played game over Forza? That shit's not even top 50 on its own console. Like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? But it is what it is. Like people, I don't know, people getting their feelings or whatever, or whatever. I don't. It's a this is like the weirdest social experiment. Like this whole generation with social media and the kind of mob mentality of we're gonna pile on like everybody. Like we've seen a lot of people fold in this generation. Be honest, some people switched over to PlayStation, became Xbox dudes that switched over to PlayStation became PlayStation fanboys. Some dudes were hardcore and tried to do it, but they were so hardcore Xbox dudes that when they switched over to PlayStation, it just looked crazy. Everybody just gave them the side eye and be like, "Nah, we don't believe you, dog. You was too extreme." But it's this is some crazy shit in this generation, bro.
It's,
So
there's no doubt about that. I mean, no, it is crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. I don't know, man. But all right, what about you, 100? Send us home on this topic before we get to the next one. What do you think, man? I mean, do you think that the co-op situation will work? Um, for one, and I mean, and why is it that? Why do you think that there will be people that will be tripping out about that? If you know what I'm saying, if Sony is one, well, I shouldn't say so much Sony. I should say the developers. They want to try to make the game more of an MMO uh, co-op s type of game, so it could have bigger worlds and have more immersion. What do you see anything wrong with that with Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
I don't see nothing wrong with it, but I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
Uh-oh.
Uh, I see a lot of gamers. They don't like change.
Oh, that's true.
And I don't care what side of
yeah,
the fence you on.
Yeah,
We
that's what I was
saw that
asking.
That
with
is
Halo
true.
5. We saw that with Gears 5 because you ain't playing with Marcus. That game is trash. So a lot of people don't want to get introduced to it. Now Final Fantasy is trash because it ain't turn-based. So, they I call them, it's a harsh word to say, but the gaming community a bunch of schizos sometimes. Boy, they got different personality. They like this 1 minute, always this now, or why did they change this and that? Because if you're a developer, you want to evolve. You want the world's bigger. You know, people play Grand Theft Auto online because what they do. People getting immersed in the game. It did that GTA 4 didn't do like that. You know, Sea of Thieves. You know what I'm saying? It runs because people playing it. They want to be pirates. You know, they did like me, get drunk on the boat and drunk in real life. You know, we got State of Decay. Oh, it looked cartoonish and that. And what they do, they went back, texted up, keep on adding. Because my thing is, I wasn't mad. I mean, I don't know. Like the Sony guys, kind of like they like their single player games, where we like both. I don't see Nintendo people really talk too much. They like to play Smash, but I don't see. I don't really see them talking like that. It's sometimes it feels weird when you don't get on Xbox Live and talk some shit. Because we're social. Now I know it's some people, I got subscribers and stuff. I'm like, man, come on in, as long as you got common sense. And I forgot common sense ain't common no more.
Sure ain't.
Oh, so, hell no.
No. So hold on, before you finish, I have to say this. I understand now why Y2K had to make Mafia 3 the way that they did. Because what you're seeing in this gameplay, this is Mafia 2. I see why they had to make Mafia 3 the way they did. Because you out here doing some foul shit to brothers. I was like, God, but I mean, it's setting no time though. It's out of this time, right? Yeah.
People's mad at 3 at Mafia 3.
Oh, Mafia 3 was amazing, man.
Because you played with a brother and you wasn't from the it wasn't full Italian. And it's people that we knew. I saw into with. Oh, why?
See, I never played to it till recently. Like that's my gameplay. Like it's dope. I like it. I mean, but I was like, oh, I see why they went this route. Because you doing black folk dirty. I was like, he calling black folk moolies and shit. I'm like, God damn. But you know what I'm saying?
But 100.
But I'm still early in the story.
He wasn't full Italian later on because of the fact that remember that the thing about
then he gets
him,
Sicilian.
Yeah, he's Sicilian, but before his family, his family came from Italy, and only later did part of their family go to Sicily and came because he thought that he was what's called a made man, which is a full-blooded Italian from Italy.
Yeah,
from the family.
That's you talking about the second one, right?
Yeah, the second
one. Yeah.
That he found out that he wasn't
Sicilian.
A made man. But it was because of the fact that he still had ties to the head of the table that he was still.
Well, it goes a little deeper than that. Like,
but that's the big.
Because they came from the real land. You know what I'm saying? To go and got to New York. So yeah, he's a straight up immigrant. But yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. Go back to 100. Go back and finish what your point was. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm just saying this game was a trip, man.
Yeah, the gaming community just don't. A lot of people don't like change. They didn't. I hear people, why Halo got Warzone? Why are you sprinting? Go play the Master Chief Collection and you go play that slow ass gameplay. I can't go back to doing it. Some people can.
That and it is fucking slow.
And I'm saying some people can.
It's tough, man. Tough.
But I'm like, 343 killed Halo because of this and because of that. I'm like, what? I tell people out to tell, and it's hard for me to say it. Chief gonna have to die something. Go one of these days, it ain't gonna be no more. And they said they want to make this as a saga. That's like some Battlestar Galactica type of joint. So, Gears. Why? Because you're playing as a girl and a black man. You don't. Was to me? It's I don't want to say the word racism, but it's like everybody can't be the white guy all the time. That's what's wrong with diversities. There we go. There's nothing wrong with you being diverse. I don't mind playing as a Jack. I don't think I can go to Japan and go run with the Yakuzas. But I don't mind playing with the Yakuza and Yakuza. But if they switch it up and say that this guy did this and that, I wouldn't even trip. It's something new. That's what you brought. You brought in your horizon. Say he's a mix. it's mixed, you know. His dad was one of the heads of the Yakuzas, and he trying to get his, you know, he trying to find out what's going on. He want to see if he can beat a Yakuza, but see, people don't want to. It's I don't know, it's just weird, and I guess that is how the world is, and I don't let it bother me too much. It just get bothering me on games that I like. If people like Horizon Zero Dawn, trust me, it's gonna have a good story. Halo has a good story and good gameplay, and also has a great multiplayer. Gears does it too. Even Forza Horizon 4 does it. I didn't see nobody jumping off when they finally let us play against each other. When we got to play multiplayer, and we played dirt, we raced dirty. I know my avatar does. I get people say I can't stay your avatar because I will cut you off.
Oh yeah, I definitely race dirty.
Yeah,
no
so
doubt about it.
You and Xbox 448.
And I tell people, and if they want to broaden Horizon Zero Dawn, they got a system that's supposed to be doing all these they want to show you the power of their system. Let Guerrilla Games do. That's Guerrilla Games. You should be able to tell these developers how they want to make it. That's their art. That's their masterpiece. So if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Let them.
All right. Cool. All right. So I had Alex in here. He was like, "Oh man, you talking about some Sony news? Now, is there any Xbox news?" I'm glad you asked that because this is the topic I want to get into. I don't know if we can I don't know if we can hit every other topic, but we're gonna hit this topic. We're gonna hit it hard. So, all right. So check this out. Now I know that not everybody on the panel heard everything that I was talking about. But all right, so there's some Xbox information that's out there. I'm pretty sure that some of the people that's listening and the people that will be listening later on, they've heard some of it from other podcasts, maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just go by what I hear, and what I get told, and from certain other situations. But okay, so check this out, right? So 100, I'm sorry, but the Lockhart is real. It is 100% real. It's not a fabrication. It's not a guess. It's not a rumor. It is real. More information. So let me go ahead and break a little bit of this down. All right. So, and y'all guys can take it with a grain of salt. Y'all can believe it. Y'all can say this is bullshit. I don't know, but I'm going to give you the facts on it. Well, I can't say facts. I'm going to give you the information. So basically, what's going on right now is with the Scarlet. I'm sorry, not Scarlet. With the Lockhart. The Lockhart is real. The Lockhart is it's the pricing point of the Lockhart is quite reasonable. And the one thing about it is where we see where Sony is making this, and I know Xbox clamoring at the bit to talk about some of these patents. I've seen this on a video on Tom's something's videos where he was basically saying that it's already pretty much confirmed that the PlayStation 5 is going to be $500 to $550. I know the whole $50 thing is kind of weird, but and you already heard Phil Spencer already make the point of saying that he's quite flexible. And the reason why he's quite flexible is because of Lockhart. Now, you hear all these fanboys come out here and they make these points and talking about that, oh, the X is going to hold it back. Well, the S is going to hold it back. Well, we already kind of know now that the X is already going to be discontinued. It's done. It's finito. The Lockhart's going to take its place. So Lockhart is basically going to have the all the assets that will not bottleneck the Series X. So basically, there's a targeted price. The targeted price is I don't know. I'm going to go because I already told a couple of people, so I'm going to make a. Let me go to PK. PK, you didn't hear what I was talking about before the show, did I?
I did not hear everything.
Okay, all right. No, let me go to Bloody because I think you did hear some of it. So let me go to Bloody. All right, Bloody, you there? All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Bloody. Okay, so what do you think that the Lockhart will be when it gets announced? Because it's supposed to get announced this month. I'm sorry, next month in May.
In May?
Yeah, in May. So how much do you think that the Lockhart is going to be?
If I had a guess on where they're gonna price the Lockhart,
Hmm. And people in the chat, don't be shy. Let me know what you think. What you think?
I would say it may launch, and
Hmm.
and this could be bad, but the fact is, I think that realistically, it may retail at 350.
Okay.
But I think that the sweet spot where they should aim for is 300. I think
Okay.
realistically, if we seen, especially like during the 360 era, right, when we
Hmm.
saw how they had the arcade, the pro, the elite version, all that of the different models of the 360, you had one that was like 250, you had one that was like 300, 350, and then you had one that was like 400. So I think that the fact that they're doing two models with Lockhart and then Anaconda, and we know that Anaconda is a Series X,
Hmm.
we all know that that one's going to be about 500, but hopefully sweet spot, real good pushing 450. I think that realistically we may see the Lockhart about $150 cheaper. So if Anaconda's 500, we'll see Lockhart as 350. If we see Anaconda as 450, we'll see the Lockhart push for 300.
Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Who else didn't hear what I had? Livewire. What do you think? How much do you think that the Lockhart's going to be?
Yeah, I'll probably go with about 300. Um, I
Now
would
it's
think
now
that.
now it's going to have. It's not going to be. It's going to have. It's not going to bottleneck the Series X. So that means it's going to have more updated hardware. So it's not. It's still. You know what I'm saying. So you're still going to say 350?
I mean, I guess it's possible they could start it at 400.
Mm-hmm.
Um, making it kind of like where PlayStation was at the beginning of. Oh, I guess so, yeah. If PlayStation is going to be 500, and they if Xbox knows that,
500 to 550.
yeah, if Xbox knows for a fact
And
that
that's all. And that's
don't,
also not. And that's also been reported by Bloomberg as well. And Bloomberg, the Bloomberg report has been absolutely um, spot on so far about all the information that they've got. So
yeah, to be honest, for it to be 400, I would assume that it's basically it kind of sits at like it does like it's 1440p. Maybe it does some things at 4K. Like say it does all the current games at 4K, or everything that we have now, but all the stuff that's new coming out, it does it at 1440p, 60 frames per second. I can see that being 400.
okay, all right, okay, all right, all right. So what if I tell you that Bloody was absolutely right? The
But
the 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 approach is $300.
okay,
And on top of that, there's more news, folks. There's more news. So, all right. So check this out. There's more news on top of this. On top of this. So okay. So uh, the initiative is also working on a quadruple A game. Now they're working on multiple games. Matter of fact, the studios is working on multiple games. I don't know about Coalition and I don't know about 343, but I mean, if you kind of look at it from the standpoint, I know that like Halo Wars is being made by somebody else, but that's technically still 343's jam because they have to look and sign off on it, I guess, and things like that. But regardless, but most of these studios are going to be working on multiple projects. But for the initiative, they're working on a quadruple A game, and the game is Perfect Dark, and it's going to be a reboot with and it's going off of the assets of the game that the coalition made. If you remember, that got shut down once they got Gears, which was from when they were the studio called Black Tusk. Um, they also, from what I've been understanding from about this Perfect Heart game, I'll say Perfect Heart. Um, from this new game from Perfect Dark, it's basically saying that It said in the demo that they showed, you play as an agent. You get a mission to steal a document from a heavily guarded building. Player uses a car to drive to a new building. While the trip, uh, they'll show us the beautiful next gen open world with tons of simulations inside the building. At the same time, you sneak into the room with documents. You meet another agent controlled by another player that has the same mission. It means that you play in a shared world, which kind of sounds like what Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is trying to be, co-op MMO s style. But let me go ahead and continue. Means that you play in a shared world where other agents can connect and start the same mission you have, or even steal from you. It will create a unique situation and interaction between players. The game launch is anywhere between 2021 to 2022 and will be one of the most expensive Microsoft games ever created. Now, mind you, Halo's engine was anywhere from a quarter to a billion to anywhere from, they said, 500 $500 million. I don't think it was actually
You
500
mean the
million,
Slipspace engine, or you mean a previous engine?
no, the slip space engine was a quarter was anywhere from a quarter to a billion to $500 million to make.
So you're
So,
talking that, so they're factoring in the build of their own engine. So
yeah, but I'm saying that's a lot of money. They're making an engine, you know what I'm saying? Halo's making their own engine. We already know that we've already seen it. That's the slip space. But that's the cost of it. What they're saying with this game, though, it's the most expensive Microsoft game ever created. And then there's more. They said that Forza Motorsport, the game, it has a brand new engine, which we already knew about that. We heard about that. It said one of the features of the engine is a new physics-based dirt and gravel. The game will feature a wide variety of off-road racing, starting from some rally stages, trucks off-road racing, and etc. Forza also has a lot of SUVs and trucks in their car lineup. So now that you can effectively use them, also the great work will be done inside championship systems. A lot of licensed racing leagues, championships, up to 54 cars on the track, plus pit stop box simulations where players can set up their cars, rework multiplayer with championships and rules. They definitely target Gran Turismo Sport with the new game. Single player will get more exciting scripted missions that will tell a lot of interesting stories about motorsports. And then last, which is not least, pretty much seems that it's solid that Xbox is also acquired two more studios. Now, this is the part where, I mean, all of this can be taken for whatever, right? But the studio that they're talking about is Techland. Now, we don't know, but again, it says Techland. And also the Japanese studio, which they have no idea which the studio is. So now, since you got the information and heard this stuff, all this good stuff that's coming down the pipe about the 390, about the 299 Lockhart, the new enhancements to Forza. Perfect Dark is actually a real thing. We already know Halo is the best kept secret. That's definitely going to be shown. Let me go to you, 100. I'm going straight to you, 100, on this one. Because I know I'm pretty sure you're more skeptical. So, what do you think? I mean, do you believe in the pricing? I know that you were real skeptical about the Lockhart. I know Don was as well. And I mean, the Lockhart thing, I think, is already solidified. I don't think anybody could say that that's not a real thing. But what do you think about that pricing, and what about the other information that you heard as well?
You know me. I need some papers. You know what I'm saying? I like I say, I ain't the one. You know, I can wait. When Microsoft want to come out and say this, it is. I'll be the first one if they bring out this Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be one of the first ones to apologize to people. And you know what I'm saying? I'll be one of the first ones. I also gonna be one of the first ones if it's not, because we still don't. I mean, it's too many variables. And what I've been knowing lately, when especially Phil in charge, Phil do not like leaks.
No,
he can't stand them.
I know.
So, you know, I heard one time Phil told people lock your thing down on nobody. Because I remember it was that first year he took over and they dared to leak the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
He already was pissed about that. And he was like, we closed mouth. Like, what did he do? What he told people today? I mean, yesterday. Yeah, we're going to show y'all games.
Right.
He's talking to regular Joes. Like, we're going to show you guys games. Just like people, just like they impatient. I don't know, because it's, the little situation going on. But let them just come out and say something. And if it is, it's real, it's real. We all been knowing about A Perfect Dark for a very long time. Know of it or heard of it, or that's what we wished that we wanted. Mm-hmm. We wished that we want another Fable. I went back to playing Fable Anniversary. I forgot I never beat Anniversary. I beat 1, but I never beat Anniversary. Mm-hmm. But and people wanted like a good traditional Fable game with upper graphics and stuff like that. Forza, that's the most believable one because we didn't saw that in action already. Mm-hmm. You didn't saw like the circuit where you can go play the circuit and stuff like that. That's more believable. I believe that. I'll say yeah. I like how you see Halo 343 has that on lock. Now people are theorizing because what you see off the comics. So that's why they're theorizing if this going to be this.
Well, I got some stuff. I got some stuff about Halo coming on after we get everybody to talk about this.
So I heard it's going to be open world. You might be fighting other Spartans.
Well, let's just stay on this and before we get on to Halo. All right.
But if it is, it is when it come out. If it's $300, I ain't getting it. I'm gonna get the X, and that's why I don't see that. Why would you put this there where you're gonna beat and you're gonna have your competition beat anyway? Because your competition is waiting for you to put out their price so they can try to come close to your price.
Well, this is the reason why. And this is why I believe that, I like the Lockhart. This is why I know that the Lockhart is real. But this is why I also know that Phil and them aren't playing. It left a very bad taste in their mouth of how Sony did them when Sony lied to them directly, telling them, "Oh yeah, we'll be the same price. We'll be about $500. Yeah, we're going to do the same thing." And then they went and just completely just made an ass out of them. They never forgot that.
Yeah, but
so to undercut them because they know Sony ain't going to have no double console. They just got this one. They may could try to bring something here a little bit later, but that would be a waste, especially when you don't have nothing to combat the Lockhart, especially at that price.
Well, why would you want to compare? You already got something that can compare. You already have the X, and I'm gonna break this down too.
Okay.
And nobody's not talking about it, and I see a lot of people.
Okay.
I heard about this Navi joint. It's gonna run this. It's gonna be 4 teraflops. You don't have to worry about the 4 teraflops because the X got 6. You don't have it because they've been working with AMD and this new technology and all that. Why spend some money where you already got a system that you got in production that already do 4K 60 frames per second, and for one night, it will not bottleneck.
It
will not bottleneck a Series X game.
It still got Jaguar cores though. 100.
It doesn't matter because guess I'm gonna tell you how it doesn't matter because it's gonna be using Ultimate UWP. We get it used now.
You talking about DirectX 12?
Yeah, Ultimate DirectX. So it already knows what the assets and do. It does. We got it now. You download a game. It knows if you got an Xbox Fat. If you got an Xbox S. It knows you got an X with one code. That's all you need. So it just download assets. It's like, hey, that's a Xbox One X. And then for the other one, you can go boom. You can just go get it now. Just like, okay, this is access because this is the Series X. So you're not bottlenecking anything. because it already knows
It still
what
will have some
resources
kind of restriction.
it still has resources. We're running games at 4K 60 now.
Not everything, though.
Huh?
Not everything.
Well, we damn nearly. Oh, if it's made from Xbox, if it's made from Microsoft, now the competitor, that's on them. The third parties, that's on them. You can't force them. You can't force a third party to do what they don't want to do. But that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm still like, man, you already got it, and every console drops when their new console gonna come out. Every console. I don't care if I was a kid. The Atari 2600 dropped when the 7200, the 5200 was going to drop. The 5200 dropped when the 7200 dropped. The OG Nintendo dropped when the Super Nintendo dropped. Every Xbox 360 dropped when the Xbox. So people sitting there all day, they're just running out. We don't know, and you're not hearing it out their mouth. Because a lot of these people, even Nintendo came out and said, hey, we're not making this. They even did this with Joy-Cons this week. Saying, we're not making this no more. We're discontinuing it. Why Microsoft ain't saying they discontinuing this product? People say they're making these assumptions that they're not getting replenished. We don't know. I haven't heard from, have you heard from Walmart? Have you heard from these other outlets out here? You hear from Amazon out here? You're not hearing them because they like, oh, they put that